A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you so very much. This is another day, another opportunity for us to have this episode going. This episode is the second in a series where we are talking about the 5 surprising benefits of discouragement. If you're tuning into this show for the very first time, this is a show about purpose, productivity, and resilience. It is daily. There's not a single day you'll come and you'll miss, God willing, you'll miss an episode. It's always there. We're talking about those 3 aspects of purpose, productivity, and resilience on a daily basis, and we deploy this through a series of messages. If it makes sense to you, please share it with as many people as you can, because if it's making sense to you, it can make sense to another person. So today, let us start going deeper into the message that we introduced yesterday. We want to talk about the 5 benefits of discouragement. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
So, when discouragement is mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, you of course will automatically remember, okay? Because you have been through one. I'm here to find a person who is so superhuman that has never been discouraged. Even Jesus Christ at some point in time, he had some disappointments. Maybe not discouragement, but disappointments. I don't know. But he had some disappointments. The point is that every human being will face at some point in time some level of discouragement. So the question I'm going to ask you is this: what brings you down? What causes you to just be discouraged? Is it exposure of moral failure? Lack of support for an idea you cherished so much? Is it a loveless relationship? Is it being misunderstood by the people that you love or those who are an essential part of your life? What messes up your emotions? What brings you down? Whatever the case, one way or another, a state of discouragement will be triggered wherever one of those things happen. As long as you're a human, one of those things are going to happen, even much more than I've mentioned. And we've discussed these things, how you can deal with discouragement in some other podcast episodes. But those are by far not the only things that you can do to deal with it. But they do work. See, every winner out there will tell you this: I was discouraged at some point in time. In fact, some people will tell you one of the major comebacks that they have had in their lives was immediately after a discouragement. See, what we need to understand though is that there are benefits of discouragement. Just like Napoleon Hill said that there is a silver lining. What did he say? He said that every setback comes clothed with seeds of equal or greater benefits. And there are some benefits of discouragement. Every dark thing that you face, if you carefully look at it, I don't want to say if you're having a rough marriage, there's a silver lining, but there is actually. I don't want to say if you're broke, there's a silver lining, but there is. We can actually flip just about every kind of negativity in your life, and we can, if careful, we can look at some kind of philosophy. Someone said, get married. I forget how it goes, but it ends with, at least you'll be a philosopher. Let me see. I think it's Socrates, a quote by Socrates, who said, my advice to you is get married. If you find a good wife, you'll be very happy. If not, you'll become a philosopher. Which means that you can look at just about any negative in your life. I don't want to go in that tangent, ladies and gentlemen. And you can find a silver lining. The only thing that you cannot find a silver lining, maybe there is nothing that you can't find a silver lining on. Actually, come to think about that. Because if you die, what's the silver lining? You're free from pain and all that stuff, and you have transitioned into the next life. Okay, is there a silver lining there? Someone will say, but what if I end up in hell? Well, then do something about it right now. Don't go to hell. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, for every darkness that you face in your life, there can be a silver lining on it. There can be something positive that can come out of it. The benefits of discouragement are what I want us to talk about in these episodes going forward. But I don't want us to take it lightly. I don't want us to look forward to being discouraged. I don't want us to have this casual attitude on discouragement. I want us to continue treating it as a real enemy, okay? Because it really is a real enemy. I want us to know and to understand that sometimes probably we don't have control over the discouragement. It appears, it occurs. We don't bring it to ourselves. We don't manufacture it. It occurs. I want us to know that we need to have mental toughness when discouragement comes. And I want us to know that we need not to live in, denial. That when discouragement comes, you feel macho and so on. I think one of the best gifts you can give yourself is the gift of truthfulness, and facing reality. Okay, maybe I might not know those things. I might not be in trouble like some of you are in trouble so much so that you're discouraged. Some of you are probably you were in remission. Cancer came and you started being in remission and so on, and then it's come back. I've never faced that. I don't want to face it. It can be very, absolutely discouraging. It is one of the most discouraging things to fight that which has been an epitome of turning out people's lives, turning out people's lights. And you are facing it alone. It can be very discouraging. But let me tell you something. The little I know, I'll tell you a story. One day my pastor, long ago, he went to hospital to pray for a patient. He told me later on that I knew, or I just had this ominous feeling that this person is not going to make it. So he explained later that this person was hooked to music, playing in the background. Some glad morning, when this life is over, I will fly away. And he ended up flying away. You see, sometimes the input in your environment, in your atmosphere, can agree with your psyche. And then a state of apoptosis comes in. Apoptosis is when the brain believes that the body is no longer needed. It just sends signals and starts shutting down the body. Apoptosis. Discouragement can actually bring apoptosis. And I know fighting discouragement is one of the most uncomfortable things ever. I mean, you fight it today and tomorrow you wake up, there it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. I'm not taking these things lightly. But after saying all that I've said, I want you to know that we can find some benefits out of this discouragement. I am in no way belittling the discouragement that some people are going through. You're discouraged about your marriage today, and it seems like it cannot be recovered. You're discouraged about your salary or something, your startup or something, and it seems like you've put in all your efforts. In fact, you've put in the best of your efforts, and still nothing has shifted. No needle has shifted, and you are discouraged. I do not want to belittle that, but I want us to be philosophical about this for a minute or two. Okay, maybe it's not for a minute or two. I want us to be a little bit philosophical about this in the next 5 or so episodes, even as we're talking about the 5 benefits of discouragement. I want us to look at it from that particular angle. What can we learn? Is there any silver lining? Is there anything bright that can come out of discouragement? There's this guy called Samson in the Bible who at some point in time was given strength, extraordinary strength as in supernatural strength. That's the word. And so there's a day that he was in the fields and so on, and a young lion roared at him and he tore it into pieces. And so one day he was going past that particular place where he killed the lion, and he found that there was honey. Bees had created honey from the carcass of the lion, the young lion. And he took some of it and he gave it to his parents. And he created a riddle out of it. He said, out of a beast, out of death, something sweet came, and so on. And I want us to approach from that particular angle. What can we learn from the discouragement that you're facing, or the discouragement that you faced? Could you have learned something? That's the question that I want us to answer from the episode tomorrow. But until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.